What's up, guys? Gonna tell you about the four squat alternatives, fresh off the grill, coming in. Um, I'm gonna say these are the best four squat alternatives. If you can't straight up back squat, I'm gonna say you can get a lot out of these four, as opposed to like some other movements that are very effective. But these are definitely gonna be the most carry over to any real goal that you have. Number one, is my favorite, and going front squat. Again, still kind of cheating a little because it's still technically a squat. But if you can't back squat for whatever reason, front squat's going to be number one. Pretty much the same movement, just weights on front of you, balance on your shoulders. Be safe. Obviously, don't do this without a spot. If you're injured, don't get injured. Have someone show you how to do this properly before you even consider doing it. Number two, I'm going to say lunges, whether in place or walking. I'm gonna really just be sure to drive home that this is very effective on the quads, depending on the distance that you have in between your legs. The farther away you go from your other leg when you're in the lunge position, you're going to be hitting more of the booty, more the more of the glutes. Closer, it's going to be more quad focused. So that is going to be very effective for you. Whether it be, I lunge every week. I prefer to lunge. As opposed, I don't squat as much as I used to when I was younger. Not like I'm like complaining, not like there's any real reason. It's just, to me, it's more enjoyable. I like lunges a lot better. The two dumbbells on the side, it's a little bit more easy to control. It does not as fatiguing, in my opinion. Maybe it's not as effective as squatting, but I definitely enjoy it a lot more, and I think the pros kind of outweigh the cons for where I'm at with my goals in particular. If you're trying to be powerlifter, bodybuilder, maybe you need to think about trying to find a way to get back to squats or front squat. But if you're training for just general athleticism, health, I think lunge is a pretty effective movement. Number three, I'm gonna say, you guys are gonna be mad at me because I'm kind of cheating again, but I'm gonna say goblet squat. Goblet squat, if you don't know, is basically the same thing as a front squat, but you just hold a dumbbell in front of you. Thing I like about this movement is very safe. Obviously, if you're having a problem, it's a dumbbell. You can kind of just kind of dump it off the load. You can kind of just dump it off to the side as long as it's not on your foot or on anybody else's foot, or anybody doesn't hurt anybody. Be careful, obviously. But yeah, goblet squat is very effective, very quad dominated movement, especially based on your foot position. So I think that's a very manageable thing for a lot of people, especially if you don't want to squat, if you're older, if you're not really training for like any bodybuilding, powerlifting, any real major sports. If you're just trying to get kind of healthier, or you work, and it's just it takes the load off your back and your nervous system, and just mentally too. It's just, I think it's a little more swallowable to go in and do that. Obviously not going to be as effective, but it's definitely going to be, if you're in a situation where you can't squat permanently, then, or you don't have a reason to squat, it's the pros are going to be probably far outweigh the cons, in my opinion. Lastly, I'm going to say, which doesn't make much sense. If you can do this, you should be able to squat, but for whatever reason, I'm going to say deadlift. Deadlift, more specifically, stiff leg, in my opinion, is going to be more effective for this. But deadlift is going to be just as effective of a compound. It's going to really hit so many muscles. I think if you Google, somebody correct me on this if I'm wrong, the most muscle recruiting movement that there possibly is, that exists today that we know, is the deadlift. Most muscles involved out of everything, every movement. So, I mean, how can you go wrong with that? And obviously, if you're trying to use it as a squat alternative, then it's going to be great. It's going to heavily involve the legs, especially based on foot position. Again, obviously, have a strength coach or a trainer, friend, somebody at the gym. Just make sure you do this right. Don't get hurt. Use a belt if you have to. I mean, I'm not big. I'm not. I know some people care about it. I wouldn't recommend going heavy if you don't have a real good reason. It's obviously the very injury provoking going heavy on it. So that's my 2 cents. I think it's a great athletic movement. Carries over to a lot of things. If you can't, there's a lot of alternatives like the goblet squat, the front squat, the lunge. These are all just as good as the squat, in my opinion. If not, just just under. So worth it, worth giving these a whirl. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching.